and welcome back. I am so glad that you did not move that dial because we have the most inspiring women that we have as guests for this week's show. And more importantly, I love the opportunity when I get to highlight somebody in an area or a field that we normally don't have the opportunity to speak to. So today we have Dr. Subrina Oliver with us, and she has an outstanding business and really a very unique process that she offers for postgraduates. And I think, especially in our climate and our market today, with that next generation coming out, you are the perfect guest. So thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm great. And thank you for having me, Rhonda. I really appreciate this opportunity.
You have a very unique business. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you're helping the postgraduates when they're exiting their educational and getting ready to enter into the workforce.
Yeah, thank you. So, my company is Ojai Technologies, and it is a workforce development company. And what that means in terms of workforce development, where you have HR and they focus on the specific performance of talents, employees, if you would. Workforce developers actually focus on the economic prosperity of the entire business and businesses across the talent pipeline. So I basically work with employers, organizations, schools, really thinking about the future workforce and their current workforce. And what's very unique about what I do is one, I've have multiple degrees in different types of technologies. My first degree is in automotive. My doctoral degree is in computing. And I focus on the STEM industries because just as I'm able to go from automotive to technologies, I want that for other people, that transferability of your skills, right? Which is why I focus on STEM, STEM industries, STEM education. And also I focus on, because look at me. I'm just a girl, a Black girl, as you can see, and I'm in these fields where still today, at 54 years old, there's not many of me there, right? And so it's not just about getting me there, the younger me's there. It's also about having diversity across diversity, equity, inclusivity, as well as justice, in terms of careers. So the uniqueness of my company is that we actually help employers or anyone thinking about or responsible for the efficiencies across talent pipeline to make sure that locally that they're also investing very early in the talents, and talents are future workers. And so I start as early as before someone is actually born. I can go that low with preparing them for their future by preparing their parents. And so it is elementary, middle school, high school, and above. Yeah. So that's what I do, and I love it.
It's so interesting because I am a mother of 5 kids, and I myself, I'll say you may have you for diversification purposes, you are very singular in your space. I work with a lot of male dominated, people in my space. And, over the last handful of years, I think that women have had a much stronger voice, and we are really powering through and no longer stepping to the side, we're stepping up. So, how has the last few years in transition been for you since women's rights and women's movements and equality in the women in the workforce? How has that changed for you over the last few years?
Well, actually, it really hasn't changed so much in terms of when you talk about the industries of focus for me. I'm talking about manufacturing industries, information technologies, probably maybe a little bit more women there, depending on what you're specifically talking about. And engineering industries is still very few of us, even on the education side for that. Maybe more are entering in terms of preparing themselves for it. But because there is such an absence of seeing themselves there, or whoever is there hiring or the classes that they might be in, no matter what the training levels are, it's another thing to see yourself because there's a different level of support. But I like to also talk about things that most people don't think about is that there are also benefits of taking that road less traveled. There are definitely benefits in terms of being the only one. But that's not what I like to focus on. What I like to focus on is if you are a woman in these spaces or any other in any uncommon space for you, focus on the similarities, right? It's just interesting. I was just at a International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners meeting just a couple of days ago. And I took a picture and put it on LinkedIn. And in that picture, it is myself. And while I don't look like the others, right, I'm the only female there physically, but there was one more on the hybrid remote. But what we had in common, I said, wow, I'm with all of these leaders and CEOs and whatnot. It was roughly about 9 or so, maybe 10. 8 of us all had on jeans. I had to talk myself into wearing jeans because I said these guys would be okay with me wearing jeans. I was planning on staying in the office all day. Maybe 7 or so, everybody had on, sneakers or kind of boat shoes. And these are leaders, right? These are CEOs, and the ones that were on the screen had the same. And then I said, the woman on the screen, both of us, she has on lip stick, I have on lip gloss. So looking at the commonalities, because while I say physically in appearance, I may not be there, but these are my people, the types of ways that they think, the way that they challenge problems. So I would say to any woman in the workforce wanting to pursue industries or doing work that is not what others are doing, I say go for it because you're going to go somewhere else and then you're going to want this too. And the worst thing I hear from people is when I retire. Well, life is not promised. It's not promised. Get it now. Do what you want now. And that's what I love for me and that's what I love for other, whether they're a woman or anyone else that is feeling like they're othered in these spaces, in these workplace spaces.
Now, I know, first of all, I love that message. I
Mhm.
absolutely love that message because it's very empowering when you really listen to the words and you allow yourself to process what you're saying. Now, I want to congratulate you because I know that you've been selected to be a TEDx speaker at one of the upcoming conferences at the end of October. So, give us a little sneak peek about what you are going to be sharing on stage.
Thank you, Rhonda. Well, let me tell you, Rhonda, I have this grandiose idea of before I leave this earth that society will have people loving what they do. When people love the work that they do, I think all of us in society benefit. So, but where I see a barrier to that is that graduation. And, so I'm going to say I'm focusing my TED talk for the TEDx Deer Park Women talk on what happens when someone graduates. We all love it. We hear the music, we take pictures of our graduate, and I'm going to focus on the college graduate, but I mean this for any graduation that I think everyone should think about. But what happens when that after that graduate receives that quote unquote diploma on stage, whatever it is that they give him or her on that diploma, they take the picture with the school, then they take the picture with the family. What happens when they leave that stage? And most people do not think about that. Well, and in the climate that we're living in right now, and the cost, I'm talking about nothing political, I'm just talking about the economic climate,
Yeah.
right? Especially living on Long Island, it's expensive. Many of these graduates, they have this diploma in hand and they say, hello, workforce, I'm ready. And then the workforce tells them what? No, you're not. Okay, yes, you have that degree. What else do you have? So I want to equip graduates, maybe not necessarily the ones Well, actually, no, the ones that are also graduating as well, and as well as those soon to be graduates, and even those in the audience to really think about what you also need with that diploma, what that diploma or that degree could also provide had you done some other things to shore up that diploma. That diploma just says, I studied this, and that's what the workforce sees. What that diploma could absolutely have done for you, is I'm really ready, right? And how do I really ready someone? How do I help them get prepared? I give them tools that the future graduate can use along their process to that stage, and also tools that the other graduates, those who post graduation, tools to actually really accelerate and advance what their objective was and is, right? To live their best life, with the work that they set out to do. And so I'm excited about that. And just another little thing that I'm doing is that with that message, I'm preparing to compare their the graduates' preparedness levels to the types of bridges that we have, right? So, if you were an arch bridge, what level of readiness would that be? If you were a beam bridge, what type of readiness would that be? If you were a suspension bridge, what type of readiness would that be? And always tying it back to engineering, to STEM, because when what I've found is that when I stay true to the teachings of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, abstractly or concretely so, it I can say I've seen it save lives.
I
And
love that.
that's what I'm trying to do, save lives, change lives. I want someone to say, here a job, here the graduate to say, here a job. Not only do I have this degree, but guess what this degree also offers? So we're talking about co-piloting, your success and being ready, not to descend onto your parents' couch, right? Which a lot do, but to ascend, into your career. So that graduation should be a springboard, right? It should be a springboard, and often it is not.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Once again, we are talking to Dr. Sabrina Oliver today. Stay tuned. We're getting ready to bring you another guest.
Thank you, Rhonda.